Hi folks, Jeff Rugrock here. Just going to do a real quick demo on threading a piece of pipe. I've already cut my end-to-end lengths and threaded each end before cutting it off a larger piece of pipe. I've cut and dressed it, so this is just a threading exercise. I've got my cutting oil. I've got a fitting to check my hand engagement or couple because they are used. I've got a little wire brush to clean the ends. I've got a rag, and of course I've got my hand dies. There's a guide side and a die side. To start, I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on the end, slide that on there until the pipe hits the inside of the die. Those starter threads are tapered and they're a bit of a mess. I'm going to make sure my ratchet pawl is in the cut position, facing up so I can see it, and then in the cut position. And then I'm just going to press on the end of the die head with my gloves so I don't get sharp shards into my hand, and start my threads. They are being cut really poorly. They're like a half a thread at best, the first few, called starter threads. But once those get a bite, you have to start putting oil on with every crank. So you just put your oiler, yours might be a handheld one. You either pull the trigger or you squeeze the bottle every time you drop your knees. You can, of course, stand straight, but you won't be able to cut threads all day because your arm and your back will get tired. By dropping your weight onto the handle by way of your knees, it's just like you're going to do a million squats in a day. Much better for your body. So you're just going to go on here until the pipe starts to come out of your die. And you want about 3/4 of an inch of overall threads. Whoa, getting a lot of breath here. I'm getting close though. I am cutting about 10.5 to 11.5 turns or threads. And of course, one thread is one time around. There we go. Which should be about 3/4 of an inch. So again, if this ratchet pawl is facing up, you just reverse it. You back it up to where you were cutting a thread, and then you break that thread off. There you go. Once she comes loose, you can put your ratchet pawl into neutral and just take the die head off. Of course, you can leave it on too, but that's an awful big handle to be swinging around. And in my case, it would hit my camera wire. You take that off. Oops. Take your rag. These are very sharp, these threads. So take your rag and get that excess oil off of there. Don't touch the threads. Your wire brush, if there's any little bits of steel in there, you want to get those out of your thread. You can measure your thread to make sure you have 3/4 inch or even a little bit more. 3/4 an inch, even 13/16 is fine. Then your last check is to make sure you have 3.5 hand turns, which is about 1/4 of an inch. So to do that, I'm just going to back this off 3.5 turns. So the 1 turn, 2 turn, 3 turn, half turn. That's it. 3.5 turns, it comes off. That's a perfectly good thread. It makes all of our measures, including the hand fit and the dimension. That's it. So next up, I'll show you how to assemble this with a couple of different elbows to measure. You want to make sure that your end-to-end turns into your properly calculated center to center. That's up next. Back in a sec.